Let us explore the deepest enlightenment practice Buddha ever taught. Together, let us relaxingly recite. How do we transcend stresses, control over our choices, utterances, and deeds? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. Good evening, Shivi. How do we transform our raw survival instincts from being our tyrant to merely being our tool? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. What about the Holy Grail of enlightenment itself? What if enlightenment was merely the mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what is mastery? As little children, we found the tying of our shoes to be a daunting task. But after what seemed like a great amount of time and tears and repeat instructions, we finally got so good at tying those sneakers that we could do so spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. The same held true for potty training, dental hygiene, and bicycle riding. Likewise, we could so master the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The seventh and eighth folds of the path are mindfulness as well as meditation. And when practiced correctly, they are the key to the remainder of the path. Mindfulness and meditation could be the engine that turns Mindfulness and meditation could be the engine that turns the cogs and gears of the Buddha's metaphoric enlightenment machine. There we go. When practiced authentically, mindfulness and meditation could calm our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, and stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. This is why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love is not the result of focus or analysis, but rather the spontaneous and uncontrived product of mere mindfulness and meditation. The significance of this cannot be overstated, for loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The second fold's kind intention, the third fold's kind communication, the fourth fold's kind conduct, and the fifth fold's kind commerce. Persist in the consistent, enthusiastic, and correct practice of mindfulness as well as meditation, and we could find that our utterances, and deeds could flow with the right or effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, which is the sixth fold of the path. Well, but what about the first fold, the view of realities, literal impermanence and figurative emptiness that support letting go? We could sit in mindfulness as well as meditation and strive to see permanence, but we will never find it. Instead, we'll be assailed with perceptions of sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents, ever shifting in a manner ranging from the subtle to the jarring. The internal is no different. Mindfulness and meditation rub our face in the ever-changing nature of our emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Mindfulness and meditation are the keys that unlock our mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, a mastery that he taught could be accomplished in as little as 7 years, 7 quarters, 7 months, 7 fortnights, 7 weeks, or as little as 7 days. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Having completed our opening lesson, it's time to shift gears. It is Yoda Monday evenings. Let's try this again. It is Yoda Monday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. I'll be right back. Please bear with me. My sinuses are acting up, so I will be intermittently applying ice to my forehead. I know it's silly, but you gotta do what you gotta do, eh, kids? Together, let us relaxingly recite. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Let upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Thus, working with our index fingers, we could gently, working with our index fingers and knuckles, we could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the crown region of our head. Let us review mindfulness. Every time we breathe in, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This sympathetic nervous system has evolved to help us to notice, in a very special way, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of the rigidity and controlling tendencies of concentration. Now let us review meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not. We are wired to automatically access the parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system is wired to help us to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. So most of us, most humans, go through life living in opposition to our autonomic nervous system. Here's how we can cooperate with it. By silently and mentally reciting noticing during each inhalation, and by silently and mentally reciting relaxing during each exhalation. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Welcome to the second quarter of this evening's live stream. Together, let us relaxingly recite 4 repetitions of this first passage. This vast expanse of our diamond-strong mind is the ever-good and spacious ultimate dimension of phenomena. This pure, complete path that liberates all does not arise, cease, or actively analyze anything. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever phenomena we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if it was as spacious and as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. The great Buddhist reformer Nagarjuna taught that there are 2 truths, the conventional and the ultimate. That which we perceive during our inhalation and that which we perceive during our exhalation, our mindfulness and our meditation. Just as a bird requires both its wings to take to the skies, similarly, we need both awareness and release to master the Buddha's path. This vast expanse of our diamond-strong mind is the ever-good and spacious ultimate dimension of phenomena. So as we relax into our exhalation, whatever arising or ceasing we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast, empty expanse. Together, this pure, complete path that liberates all does not arise, cease, or actively analyze anything. The wisdom of letting go is not the product of concentration or analysis. It is the product of noticing and relaxing in harmony with our phases of breath. Together, this vast expanse of our diamond-strong mind is the ever-good and spacious ultimate dimension of phenomena. This pure, complete path that liberates all does not arise, seize, or actively analyze anything. This vast expanse of our diamond-strong mind is the ever-good and spacious ultimate dimension of phenomena. This pure, complete path that liberates all does not arise, cease, or actively analyze anything. Excuse me. Upon the tip of our left little finger, we could, oopsie, gotta get myself coordinated. We could rest the great knuckle, oopsie, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, palms up in our lap. Working with our little fingers, we could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Let us review mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now let us review meditation. Every time we exhale, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release. Sadly, most of us have been conditioned to oppose these inner workings of our autonomic nervous system. That's why we choose to practice mindfulness and meditation, so that we can cooperate with our autonomic nervous system. Doing so is as easy as silently and mentally reciting the verb noticing during each inhalation, as well as silently and mentally reciting the verb relaxing during each exhalation. Let us relaxingly recite 4 repetitions of this passage. Being love, and thus thoroughly accomplished, it does not contrive a practice of great compassion. Being great, the profound quality of greatness need not be praised. The spontaneous fringe benefit of cooperating with our sympathetic nervous system to notice as we breathe in, and the fringe benefit of cooperating with our parasympathetic nervous system to physically relax as we breathe out, automatically stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, which in turn is the root of compassion and love. We don't need to actively contemplate love. We don't have to coerce ourselves to love. We don't have to contemplate the penalties, real or imagined supernatural penalties of not being loving. We don't have to contemplate real or imagined supernatural benefits of being loving. All we got to do is notice and relax, and love takes care of itself. We don't need to praise those who are compassionate. We don't need to fervently chant the ancient text known as the Bodhisattva's way of life. All we need to do is practice mindfulness and meditation. Together, being love and thus thoroughly accomplished, it does not contrive a practice of great compassion. Being great, the profound qualities of greatness need not be praised. Being love, and thus thoroughly accomplished, it does not contrive a practice of great compassion. Being great, the profound qualities of greatness need not be praised. Being love, and thus thoroughly accomplished, it does not contrive a practice of great compassion. Being great, the profound qualities of great love need not be praised. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. So working with our middle fingers, we could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the heart region of our chest. Let's review the inner workings of mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all manner of phenomena, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Now let us consider meditation. Every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release. The most efficient way for us to cooperate with this innate autonomic nervous system is to silently and mentally recite the verb noticing during each inhalation, as well as silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing during each exhalation. Now, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. And in approximately 8 minutes, I'll answer it. Whoops, sorry about that, Chief. Welcome to the final quarter of this evening's practice. Let's relaxingly recite this third passage 4 repetitions. I should reverse that. Let's relaxingly recite 4 repetitions of this passage. That's much better syntax. Okay, let's see. Phenomena do not move the authentic condition, which is liberation, because it liberates without action. Since self-originated wisdom is beyond active searching and liberating itself, it also demonstrates the path of liberation. As we breathe in, we have to be honest with ourselves. Whether we see beauty or ugliness, whether we hear discord or harmony, whether we feel pleasure or pain, whether we taste that which is delicious or disgusting, whether we smell that which is fragrant or foul, we have to be honest with ourselves. And that goes equally so for our emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. But our authentic state is enlightenment. Enlightenment doesn't mean we stop feeling painful stuff or ugly stuff. It means we've gotten so good at noticing and relaxing in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation that we can do so spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. So thanks to the inner workings of our autonomic nervous system, we are already wired for enlightenment. All we need to do is cooperate. It's kind of like the movie Castaway. The protagonist worked very hard to light his first fire. Similarly, we're trying to light a fire, but we already have a match in our hand. That match in this case is a metaphor of our autonomic nervous system. Let's continue. Phenomena do not move the authentic condition, which is liberation, because it liberates without action. In other words, we're already wired to notice and release. We don't have to force it. All we have to do is cooperate with it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Together, since self-originated wisdom is beyond active searching and liberating itself, it also demonstrates the path of liberation. This has 2 meanings. Here's the first one. The wisdom the Buddha discusses is not the cleverness to create a longer lasting light bulb. It's not the cleverness of concentration or contemplation, but rather it's the wisdom of letting go that we're already wired to practice during every exhalation. The second part is it demonstrates the path of liberation. What does that mean? Well, we don't need to browbeat our neighbors to learn how to meditate. We don't need to wake people up on a Saturday morning and try to give them literature. Just be ourselves, and people will be. The more we master mindfulness and meditation, the more of a profound healing effect we will have on the world around us. Directly or indirectly, subtly or spectacularly. Let's continue. Phenomena do not move the authentic condition, which is liberation, because it liberates without action. Since self-originated wisdom is beyond active searching, in liberating itself, it also demonstrates the path of liberation. Phenomena do not move the authentic condition, which is liberation, because it liberates without action. Since self-originated wisdom is beyond active searching and liberating itself, as it also demonstrates the path of liberation. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. So working with our ring fingers and knuckle, we could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Let's review mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are already wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice dualities such as dread and desire, danger and safety, lack and boon, pain and pleasure, scorn and praise, shame and fame. Now let us consider meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we mean to or not, our parasympathetic nervous system is already wired to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. The most efficient way to cooperate with our autonomic nervous system is to silently and mentally recite the verb noticing during every inhalation and silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing during each exhalation. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 13 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.